This was hot about 3 years ago, all over the place. Everybody was talking about it. They didn't like it because it was good. They liked it because they were making fun of her. That is what can happen when everybody tells you you're great, but you're not so great. The thing that's going to help you the most, honest feedback. Of course, you've got to be open to that. And not everybody is. That's how this happens.
You also have to have an internal reference point. I think a lot of people reference themselves by what goes on outside of them, what other people say, the situations, the circumstances around them. And you have to have a really strong internal reference point to know what's best for you, the direction to take your life. All these things has to come from the inside and not looking at the outside, because the outside is where people lie, where people tell you what you want to hear, where things don't go your way. So it's really important to cultivate that as an entrepreneur.
Robert's rule number 4, bring a compass. I didn't know what this meant at first. He said it's awkward when you have to eat your friends. Be prepared. It's much better to have a compass to get out of the woods just in case than to have to eat one of your friends to survive. What does that mean to you?
I thought that was kind of a weird tip, to be honest.
I think a map might be better. Compass is only going to tell you where north is.
You need a map and a compass, actually, to get out of the woods. If anyone's been in the woods, you know that. So he's kind of missing part of it there. But that's beside the point. I think what he's saying is basically be a Boy Scout. Be prepared for what's up next. I think a lot of times it's hard to do that because you don't know what's around the corner. You don't know what's up next. I don't know. I don't really understand the eat your friends part.
Well, number 1, we talked about believing in yourself and your business, testing things before you jump in. We've done that through trial and error. We do that more now than we did earlier. And I think as you go on your entrepreneurial journey, you start to kind of get a feeling for what's coming up ahead. What I think Robert's talking about when he says bring a compass, I think he's talking about planning ahead, planning for partnerships. We've talked about that on here. We've got entire episodes of Red Podcast dedicated to partnerships and how to have a good one. It's prenups, prenuptial agreements if you're going to get married, and the equivalent of that if you're going to have a partnership. It's planning for failure. Here's another big one. What will you do for money? Because as you grow as an entrepreneur, as you have a larger audience, people are going to come to you and they're going to say, hey, I could do a car dealership with your name on it. They do this to football stars all the time. You don't have to do anything. We'll just put your name on it. We'll sell a lot of cars. We'll all make a lot of money. That's why football players are broke. They get opportunities like that. What are you going to do for money?
I think I'm going to learn how to play basketball really well and then go to the court down the street.
Well, there's a nun down there that can show you some moves.
She's doing it.
She's doing it.
I still don't really understand the eat your friends to survive. That makes sense to me in a partnership situation that you have to be prepared. You have to plan in advance, David, like you're talking about with agreements. But other than that, if you're on your own and you fail or you're not prepared, I don't know why you'd have to eat your friend.
Well, you've had partnerships go bad. You can certainly understand that eating your friends is always an option. Basically, CYA, taking care of yourself and not thinking about other people, that's always an option. I do think you have to think about that ahead of time. That's why you make kids practice dialing 911. Make them think about things ahead of time so they're able to do it when everything goes down.
So maybe instead of bring a compass, he should say cannibalism isn't cool. What do you think? That's just better.
He's talking about a bigger picture here, but obviously it's not good to eat your friends.
No, don't do it.
But we suggest not going into business with your friends because of that. Don't even take it that far.
Nope.
Rule number 5, if they can't catch you, they can't overtake you. Robert says, go fast, really fast. The elephant can't catch a running mouse, but he can sure crush him when the mouse is standing still.
There's a movie called Without a Paddle. Have you seen this movie, David?
No, but I've been without a paddle.
Okay. Well, there's a group of guys, and they're on this canoe trip. And, of course, they run into different situations and I think lose their canoe. But they're confronted with a bear. And this bear is coming up, and one guy is putting on his shoes because he has his shoes off. And the other guy asked him, why are you putting on your shoes? You can't outrun that bear. And he said, I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you.
Right, yeah.
So that's how it is in business. You just have to go fast and make it happen for yourself, and people can't overtake you at that point. They're going to get eaten by the bear, to be honest.
Yeah, but I don't think he's talking about that old joke where you just hang out with a bunch of out of shape, fat friends in the in the wilderness.
It was an analogy. Analogy.
Here's what I think when he says, if they can't catch you, they can't overtake you. I think about McDonald's, Ray Kroc, and here's what he said. He said, I'm not worried about people copying me because I can innovate faster than they can copy. I think innovation is what keeps you moving forward and keeps your competitors on their toes. I think speed competes, not just in innovation, but can you call somebody back more quickly? Can you actually have a conversation? We were talking about this earlier, Laurel. You've got some coaching stuff that you've been working on. And one of the things that separates you from other coaches is people can actually get in touch with you. So there are probably bigger, more famous coaches than you, but you can't get in touch with them. So how do you compete? Actually talking to people. It's speed, it's service. There are things that you can do to make it so people can't catch up to you.
That's the benefit of being a small business. You look at these big businesses, they can't pivot as fast. If something isn't working for them, they just can't make a strategic pivot and keep going. It takes them a lot of time. It's like a big ship. It takes longer to make a turn in the ocean than a small motorboat. You want to be that small motorboat that's able to go fast, go faster than your competition, and be able to zig and zag when you need to.
Coming from a publishing background, both music and books, that's one of the great things about being independent. It's one of the reasons that Prince dropped Warner Brothers for a long time. They were so slow, they couldn't get his music out. He did it independently. It's one of the reasons that I do not have a major publishing deal, had one, left, and now release books on my own because I don't want to have to deal with the bureaucracy of being 18 months between books if I want to get one out in 12, if I want to get one out in 6. You can go much faster, and that's a way to compete right there. Not only just not having to deal with stuff, being a lean, mean machine, but actually being able to get the information out as it's hot. Innovation, speed of implementation, and also service. Those are 3 things that you can do to make sure that the big elephant can't crush you. Robert Herjavec's rules, there are 10 of them on episode number 111, the next episode, which will be at redpodcast.com/111. We'll go through 6 through 10, but 1 through 5, let's recap. 1, believe in your business and yourself. 2, test before you jump in. 3, everyone lies. Some people because they're trying to throw you off. Some people, they don't mean to. They just don't want to hurt your feelings. 4, bring a compass, or as Laurel and I say, bring a map, have a plan, be prepared. And 5, if they can't catch you, they can't overtake you. If you've got questions about these, have topics that you want us to discuss, reach out. Red Podcast is where to get in touch with us, how to find past episodes. You're listening on iTunes? If so, we'd appreciate a review. That will help us to come up more frequently in the iTunes search engines. A lot of people find podcasts that way. We can reach a bigger audience, develop the real entrepreneur community. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time on the next episode of the Red Podcast.
You've been listening to Red Podcast, Real Entrepreneur Development. Subscribe today using iTunes, Stitcher, or via RSS at redpodcast.com.